Director Darren Aronofsky has a knack for casting these down and out actors. Brendan Fraser in The Whale. Now enter out of the shadows Mickey Rourke. In 2008, Mickey Rourke was basically down and out, a limited character actor. His scene from Enemy of the Gates was cut. He was in Get Carter with Stallone for a scene. He had a scene with Jack Nicholson in The Pledge. He was a heartthrob in the 80s, burned all his bridges in the 90s, and was down and out, much like his character Randy the Ram Robinson in The Wrestler. Sold out arenas, Madison Square Garden, highest of the highest for a professional wrestler, now limited to a very independent circle and still hanging on, despite his body being broken down after numerous injuries and just being older. Father Time is undefeated, as they say. The film is shot like a documentary where we follow Randy the Ram walking through what appears to be like an elementary school gymnasium where the small circuit indie wrestling is held. I mean, that's the lowest of low. He can't even get into his trailer park. He has to sleep in his van to get the key for the next day. He's locked out because he can't pay rent. But Randy Ram still has, a shot. He gets presented an idea of a 20-year reunion with one of his rivals from the 80s, and he sees it as an opportunity to come back and be on top of his game. He confines a lot of his personal life and his personal ambitions to a stripper played by Marissa Tomei. She says she can't really hang out with a client. He always tries to get her to do things, go off to eat and stuff like that, until one day he shows up and confesses, "Hey, I just had a heart attack." And she can tell the seriousness of the issue. She agrees to help Randy get back with his estranged daughter, played by Evan Rachel Wood. She thinks that Randy should tell her about the heart attack, which leads to like this interesting scene where they're thrift shopping for a jacket and they end up at a bar and reminiscing about how great the 80s were. They end up making out, and Randy, of course, falls head over heels. He's been wanting this moment forever. She cannot go through with it. It's just she puts that boundary up again, can't get with a customer, yada, yada, yada. Randy just goes back to what he loves, despite his health issues. He can always rely on the wrestling fans and the sport of wrestling to get him through hard times. And that's basically The Wrestler in a nutshell. This broken down piece of meat, as they say in the film, struggling to survive in a society that sort of rejected him. I mean, he works at a deli counter and he struggles with somebody recognizing him and, "Didn't you used to be famous? You're Randy Ram Robinson," and he just can't handle it, and he ends up quitting in this like dramatic fashion. And it's a character piece, and it's a movie that has stuck with me for almost 20 years now. It came out in 2008, and I remember going to see it twice, and I had no idea who Mickey Rourke was, and I looked him up, and he looks completely different than he did in the 80s. I mean, he has had a life, and it's reflected so much in The Wrestler that he becomes Randy Ram Robinson to the point where we don't even recognize Mickey Rourke anymore. The Blu-ray still holds up. It looks great on an OLED TV. You have a gritty style of filmmaking here. The movie was only made for $6 million. So very rough and gritty, which really helps bring the tone of the whole film together. Special features on here: Within the Ring, a no holds barred one-on-one with wrestlers and filmmakers. Wrestler Roundtable, more gritty truth from Wrestling Hall of Famers, and a music video by Bruce Springsteen. So not a whole lot. I wish there was a commentary track or some sort of interview with Mickey Rourke, but we got what we got. And Darren Aronofsky did a lot of his research with former wrestlers and just kind of showing that dark side of wrestling, similar to the Dark Side of Wrestling docuseries. I think The Wrestler goes hand in hand with that. It's just a honest portrayal for the most part. I don't know who exactly it's based on, but it seems like a combination of many wrestlers and the dark side of the business. Have you guys seen The Wrestler? Let me know in the comments your thoughts on The Wrestler. Do you have this Blu-ray? I feel like it's hard to find now. Not many people talk about The Wrestler, but I think it's a film that needs to be talked about more. If you like this video, please share it on social media. And as always, this has been Return to the Disc. I'm Dan.